What's up guys, my name is Cameron, aka Bamflacko. Welcome to my channel. This is my first YouTube video ever, so just bear with me, I'm trying to learn. I've uploaded on Twitch a little bit. I'm just trying to get into the groove of things, of like how to do YouTube and Twitch and all that. And I really appreciate you checking out my channel if you did. First thing I wanted to talk about today, well, for my first video ever, is the EA Play stream, which was not too long ago. The first thing I wanted to talk about on the stream was Apex Legends, which will be coming out with a new event, Armed and Dangerous, and the Fortune's Favor event, which will add new skins, new cosmetic things, new weapons, stuff like that. It also will come with a new crypto town takeover, which for me, as a crypto main myself, I'm pretty excited for, to learn more about his character and his lore and all the other good stuff. Some other things I saw in the video would be the lifeline buff. She seems to be getting a pretty good buff. She will be able to start pressing people and holding up her shield and still fight even though she's rezzing them. It seemed, well, at least that's what it seemed like, which is a pretty huge buff if you ask me. She's already pretty strong. I'm not sure what I was expecting from this other buff, but it's pretty good for me, as I don't really play Lifeline too much, but I try to, you know, whenever I feel like playing her. Another thing is the Armed and Dangerous, the little event thing that they're coming out with, which is shotguns and snipers only. They only will have Evo shields. There will be no other shield in the game. You start off with it. Also, in the game mode, there are no more respawn beacons. Yep, they added a thing where you start off with a respawn beacon in your inventory, and you can set it down somewhere and respawn your teammate anywhere on the map. Really, you no longer have to go to a certain respawn beacon, which for me, it's just pretty cool. It's a pretty cool concept. I really, you know, in the game, one of the things that make you the most vulnerable is respawning your teammates, and you know, everybody can hear it, everybody can see it. Not saying everybody won't be able to see it now, but you could probably be a little bit more strategic as to where you respawn your teammates now. And the last thing, which for me personally, is one of the things I'm most excited about, is Apex Legends is adding crossplay this fall, which is pretty good. I have a lot of friends who play PS4. Personally, I'm on Xbox, but I've always wanted to play with my friends on PS4, you know, carried them, you know, whatever, other good stuff. But I think they did pretty good with this segment on Apex, at least. There was a lot of stuff that they're adding, so I'm pretty happy about it. And so they are also adding Apex Legends to Switch, which is one thing I forgot to say, which is pretty good for Switch players. I don't personally own a Switch, which I wish I did, and I know, you know, even though I'm starting a YouTube channel, I probably should own every console, but it's fine. Pretty excited for Switch players. It'll make the fan base a lot larger. They're also adding Apex Legends on Steam, which is pretty good, because a lot of people don't really use EA Origins, which is EA's main platform for gaming on PC, which will of course add the fan base more, gain some more, or get Respawn more money for their, you know, endeavors in their game, and adding stuff, you know, having the budget to do things that they want to do in the game, which is really good. I'm glad to see Apex is growing. And the next segment I wanted to talk about is Sims. The intro video was very emotional. It was very well-made video. It talked about people with disabilities. Sims has, you know, changed their lives in different ways. You know, let them be the person that they want to be. I haven't played too much Sims. I've played maybe a week's worth of Sims with my girlfriend, which is actually a pretty fun game, you know. It's fun, you know, you get to make your characters, make your family, stuff like that, you know, just the stuff y'all already knew. But personally for me, I think that they should have, I mean, I know they probably want to do, get more money and stuff like that from Sims 4. But I was really looking forward to maybe coming out with the Sims 5. I was looking forward to that. It would have been probably one of the highlights of the show, which I don't think had too many people excited. A lot of the games that people have been anticipating, they didn't really, talk about, which I'll talk about later. Another thing I wanted to talk about on The Sims 2, they're probably adding expansion packs, it seems like, maybe. I'm not sure. Or still expanding on the game, which personally I just think they should just go ahead and make the new game. They have plenty of expansion packs already, which cost a pretty hefty amount for just an expansion pack with new hairstyles and new clothes and new weather, stuff like that. It doesn't make the game too much different, but that's just me. If you are fans of Sims 4 and you're a fan of the expansions, that's good for you. But for me personally, I think they should have announced, or should at least be working on a Sims 5, at least give the fans something that they want to hear.
Hey guys, so I had actually forgotten another game. It's called It Takes Two. It's a co-op adventure experience. It's a platformer. It's about this girl. She makes both of her parents are actually splitting up, and she makes 2 dolls out of them, and the dolls come to life, and you actually play through their emotions, or that's something he said, something like that. For me personally, I'm actually kind of excited about that kind of game. There aren't too many good, genuine co-op games nowadays, and I would really like to actually play that game with my girlfriend, because we actually played co-op games all the time, and I think it'd be something I'd enjoy, and I think you should check it out if you are a couple, or you have a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, and you want to play a game with them. I think that'd be a good choice.
Another game I want to talk about is Lost in Random, which will be coming out in 2021, which is about this girl, which something bad happens to her in her childhood, and basically it's a dangerous journey, and she meets her little friend, a dice character, and they go through the world, and they, go on adventures, and they try to, take in the randomness of the world. It is literally called Lost in Random. It kind of reminds me of Tim Burton's Coraline in a weird way, with the art and stuff, which is very pleasing. I liked Coraline as a kid, and seeing that was pretty good. The animation looked very visually pleasing. And another game I wanted to talk about is Rocket Arena. Rocket Arena, it looks okay. It reminds me a little bit of Overwatch in a weird way. Like, not completely like Overwatch, but Overwatch and like Quake mixed together, which is a weird concept. You can customize the characters, how they look. Each character has a different abilities, stuff like that, which, Overwatch is now the main staple for games like that. And it seems like it's aimed towards a younger audience, with the cartoonish feel, no blood, stuff like that. Or from what I've seen in the trailer, at least, it seemed like it'd be a fun game to play with friends, but I don't know how well it will compete against other games like Overwatch and Apex, which are team-based. But yeah. And for you Star Wars fans out there, there is a new Star Wars game coming out called Star Wars Squadron. It's a multiplayer and also single-player experience. It's a 5v5 multiplayer. In the story mode, you'll be able to make each characters from the Rebellion and the Order, and see between both perspectives, light side and dark side, which is pretty cool. I think this game is, of course, aimed towards the Star Wars fandom. People. For me personally, as a kid, I thought it was really cool. How they flew in these ships in space. Like, that's a pretty cool thing to do, and I'm sure plenty of people, especially Star Wars fans, have wanted a game like this. And it actually looks very well done and well made. One concern I do have about this game, though, is the replayability, because in space you only have so many places that you can really fight and stuff like that. I'm not sure if they added different planets or not, but if they did, if they were trying to work on the game, or still working on the game, I'd say maybe make sure there's enough maps to make sure there's enough content for people to want to keep playing the game, because with games like Fortnite or Apex, Overwatch, they always add updates and stuff, new characters, new things. But one thing that I did like that would probably make the replayability quite a bit higher is the customization options you have for your ship. You can change, the guns on your ship. You can change how it looks, how your character looks, how the inside of your ship looks, which is pretty cool. But another thing for me, which is kind of just a little bit of a deal breaker for me with this game, which is I don't think should have been as large of a segment as it was on EA Play. I don't know personally if I would pay $60 to play this game. Star Wars, the Star Wars fandom, if they're that into Star Wars, yeah, they'll play the game. But I like Star Wars, but I'm not a Star Wars quote unquote fanboy like some other people. And personally, I don't see myself playing the game consistently enough to want to pay $60 for it. Maybe when it goes on sale or pre-owned, something like that. But yeah, but it looks like a good game. Definitely viable, but not worth $60. And for you sports fans out there, we have 3 new games if you consider skateboarding a sport. We have FIFA, Madden, and Skate 4, which I'm not a really FIFA or Madden type of guy. I played a little bit of some of the skate games. A lot of people have played Skate 3. Come on now, it's a skating game. But yeah, I'm not really too excited about Madden or FIFA. But visually they did look pleasing, but I'm not sure how they'll change the game any more than they have the past couple years, other than visually and maybe some little mechanics in the game. Yeah. And finally, for my last part of this video, I wanted to talk about the things that disappointed me and probably a lot of other people made people mad in this EA Play stream. Well, for starters, Dragon Age 4 was not announced, or nothing was even given on Dragon Age 4. For me personally, as a fan of Dragon Age, the Dragon Age series, I played Origins 2 and Inquisition. It's kind of disappointing. I wanted to hear at least that they were working on it. At least they had something, to show us, as the fans of the series. Show us it's not online multiplayer, which hopefully it's not. And that I'm sure that made quite a few Dragon Age fans a little bit upset. And another RPG, which isn't really a new game per se, but the Mass Effect Trilogy Remastered, which EA had said they had been working on. BioWare, they had said they've been working on for a minute here, and they didn't show us anything on that either, which I would like to see. I played all those games. I basically did a whole marathon on the whole Mass Effect trilogy, and I'm actually a really big fan. And if they could somehow change the ending of Mass Effect 3 to maybe better suit the fans, have them not leaving that bitter taste out of their mouths after they've beaten the game, that would be really good. A lot of people are also looking forward to another Dead Space, which I played a little bit of Dead Space 3. It's a scary game, or not too scary, I'm not the type of guy who gets too afraid whenever I'm playing scary games, but yeah, there are a lot of people who did want to play a new Dead Space game. It's been quite a few years now since Dead Space 3 even came out. People were also looking for Battlefield 6, which I played Battlefield a little bit, but it's not my cup of tea. But I'm sure a lot of the Battlefield fans would want to see another installment in there, one of their favorite gaming series. And guys, if you got through the whole video today, I really appreciate it. If you could leave a like, maybe even subscribe. I'd also appreciate that. Or if you like the video, like the video. If you disliked it, dislike it. Any type of feedback would be appreciated. Comment down below, and I'll see you guys later. Or follow me on social media. It will be Bamflacko on both Twitter and Instagram. Thanks.